So let me ask you this. There was a fantastic distinction that you made. We've discussed this just from knowing each other. We talk about kind of communal landscaping, communal issues. And we're talking about, contrasting the power that a police department, a district attorney's office can wield versus communal power. And you shared with me this notion of hard power versus soft power. I'm wondering if you could kind of highlight, what are the strengths and weaknesses of police involvement and the strengths and weaknesses of kind of communal involvement? Usually people look at one or the other. And I think in our previous discussions, you kind of gave me this picture of how they really work together in very important ways.
Yeah, so you mentioned my brother, Zach. He's going to be very upset because I do not remember the name of the essayist that I got this from. But hard power is generally defined by the ability to use force to enforce the law, and soft power is defined by influence to enforce, let's say, community norms. And so, hard power is going to be...
What hard powers do you wield as an ADA?
Yeah, so as the government, I'm an agent of the state, of the government, and we wield arrest power, the ability to take away somebody's liberty, the ability to force somebody to go to programming or be monitored. But we have very strict system in place to make sure that we can only wield that power under certain circumstances, i.e., in my capacity, only when a crime has been committed, and then only when proving that the crime has been committed beyond a reasonable doubt in a trial, unless a guilty plea has been reached.
You could subpoena somebody,
right? I have the power to subpoena.
What does that mean, to subpoena?
So a subpoena is it's a document that demands that either a person come to testify in court or that an agency, organization, or company provide documents to our office or to the court for trial.
And if you refuse a subpoena, what happens?
Well, conceivably, you could be arrested or fined.
You can't blow it off.
Not supposed to blow it off. No. You're not supposed to blow off a subpoena. Now, do people not testify when they are subpoenaed? Yes. Are there reasons why we might not enforce it? I don't want to get into it, but there are reasons when sometimes we might not enforce a subpoena.
But that's a hard power. You can force somebody to come and talk to you.
Yes, we have the power of force, generally speaking. That's what governments have. That's hard power.
And that's in contrast to...
Soft power is the power of influence. So in our community, rabbinic figures have, generally speaking, soft power. They can go up and give a speech, and by the power of their respect... The respect that people give them, they can influence people to do certain things or to change the way that they think about certain things. Now, we have some amount of hard power in the Jewish community. There are beis-dins that can put down certain edicts, but generally speaking, the power of beis-din actually comes from the ability to enforce beis-din's decision in a civil court. Right, beis-din can't just send out...
Can arrest somebody.
Not that I know of. I don't know. You might know more about that.
I don't know. You'd have to be pretty controversial to get arrested by
yeah.
beis-din.
Right, so they can't. You can't force somebody to... You're not... Beis-din doesn't...
I've never been arrested by beis-din. I've probably done enough. I'm sure there have been Jewish courts that have wanted to arrest me. That I am pretty certain of. But I've never... No. A Jewish court cannot arrest.
Right.
They can't... They can send out a subpoena, which is known as a hazmana, which is a edict that we want you to appear before us, but because of the competing systems in America and their informality, they're ignored too frequently, unfortunately.
And cherem, which might be the most powerful, is also, if people don't want to enforce a cherem,
it's a little dated cherem. I mean, we don't have that universal cherem where you're, like Spinoza, you're lying down in front of the shul and having people step on you.
Yeah, but even if you think about that, even in olden times, right? If let's say the rest of a community was like, nah, we don't care. What's anybody going to do?
Well, in olden times, this is the distinction. In olden times, Jewish court system derived their power from the state.
Is that how it worked in Europe?
With different places in Europe, but you had state-invested power into Jewish communities where Jewish communities were able to tax.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was state power. That's for a different discussion.
No, that's cool though. Yeah.
But I love this.
It's the next series. Yeah.
Bad idea. Any rabbinic communal leaders listening to this?
Don't get any ideas, buddy.
Taxed or arrested.
No.
In the near future. But one thing, the taxing we've spoken about. That's what makes tuition, cost of living.
You want to do that now? We could do that too.
Yeah. A little bit of taxing. But this notion of the difference between hard power and soft power, I think it's so important. People miss it because I think a lot of times we accuse hard power institutions for not wielding soft power when they don't have any, meaning
Right.
you don't have a community that you can, so to speak, inspire and influence.
I'm
do
trying
better,
to tonight, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wield a little soft power.
Yeah. Do better, be better.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we look at institutions of soft power, communal leaders, and we want them to wield hard power when in truth they don't have. They don't
Right.
have hard power.
Exactly.
And that confusion, I think, leads to a lot of misconceptions, frustrations, anger, and also injustice, frankly. When you go to a soft institution for something that requires hard power, and when you go to a hard power institution that requires soft power.
And also the institutions themselves not knowing their role.
Correct.
That can be a failing of our community. Soft power institutions not understanding that sometimes the best way to wield that power is to say, I am not the right person to talk to about this, and I will help you, and I will connect you with the right person to talk about this.
Exactly.
And that's what soft power can do. It can direct you to the hard power institutions, or it can influence a change in the way the community has a prism in thinking about these issues.